And Bolt going very near, comes Usain Bolt! Usain Bolt storming through, he takes it again!
From aiming to match Usain Bolt to claiming the 100 and 200 meter sprint double, here's everything you need to know about this certain rising young athlete who plans on dethroning Usain Bolt as the Lightning Bolt. Any guesses as to who he is? Well, if the name Fred Kerley comes to mind, then look no further.
Still no move yet from Kerley. Bracey going well. Kerley's under pressure. Oh, and it's so...
Because this guy, he's coming for our guy Bolt, and he's not gonna take no for an answer. It's no secret that Fred's been rising to the top with his speed and finesse. He's currently the reigning 100-meter world champion, and at the 2021 Tokyo Olympics, he even managed to win a silver medal, finishing just behind Italy's very own Lamont Marcel Jacobs. Not only that, but he also won a bronze medal in the 4x400 meter relay, so really, this man's certainly cranking up the heat on the field. Now naturally, as he bags these records left, right, and center, all eyes are on him. And with that, there's only one question in everyone's mind. How long until the American manages to topple over Usain's reign as the greatest sprinter of all time? Well, considering Fred's going to turn 28 soon, I'd say he's still got a couple of years until he's at the same level as Usain. But given his confidence as a sprinter, I wouldn't be surprised if he manages to set a new world record of his own. Currently, Kerley's aimed for the golden double at the World Championships, and I know what you're thinking, what if he's being too ambitious with this? After all, Usain's quite literally the greatest of all time. Not only that, but as an 11-time world champ, he's won in all major categories, consistently and consecutively at the 100, 200, and 400 meter relays from 2009 to 2015. So for a young guy like Fred to say he wants to match Usain's aim doesn't seem out of place at first, but ambition is good, and Kerley's already got the skills to back himself up too. So I think maybe Fred's onto something here, because I don't know if you know this, but this guy's got some pretty great records of his too. Right now, he's one of the only 3 men in history to run sub 10 seconds for the 100 meter race. Sure, Usain's record stands at a whopping 9.58 seconds, but at least Fred's close enough. Plus, the 27-year-old is also sub 20 for the 200 meter sprint and sub 44 for the 400 meter one, so he's inching towards one heck of a career already. With his current numbers, he's got a couple of options right now in front of him as to where he should focus his energy on, though it looks like he's opted to focus on the 200 meter one. If you remember from last year's World Championships in Eugene, he sadly did not end up winning gold as he intended to, but the track superstar seems determined and even got candid with the reporters about his plans for this year's World Championships. Fred shared that every time he steps on the track, he feels like it should be something fast, be it his movements or just the general vibe of the environment. For a track and field athlete, pace is everything, so it's understandable if Fred wants things to literally fly by just as he does. In fact, he even told the press that he's only confident this time around because he knows his training has been good and hopefully has a good time running. As a throwback to his performance in Eugene, Fred also brought up how he came up short in the 200 and how that's kept him going to aim for double gold this time around. Not only that, but he's also made some vows for Melbourne too. Obviously, at the upcoming Maury Plant meet in Melbourne, all eyes will definitely be on him once again as the star attraction. Fred knows he's got to put out the performance of a lifetime and has promised to deliver too, by vowing to run just under 20 seconds in Melbourne. Right now, his personal best in the 200 meter category is 19.76 seconds, whereas Usain's current record in the same category is set at 19.19 seconds. So while it does seem like it's not that huge of a margin, but in the world of track and field, every fraction of a second counts, which is why it's not a surprise that Fred wants to push himself beyond his limits. As I just talked about earlier, whenever Fred steps onto the track, he expects something of the best every time, and I guess he's gonna deliver once again, because it looks like he's ready to claim the #1 spot, although he's still got his main challenge to conquer too, and that's where Australia's fastest man comes in, Rohan Browning.
Simon Gregg's running well, but Browning's pulling away.
away from the field. Eddie Nikita gets under second, but Rowan Brown.
Sure, the Australian sprinter has got nothing on Fred right now with his personal best record of 20.71 seconds. He's still gearing up to speed, and we can expect him to turn up the heat at this year's World Championship too. Of course, there's other people that Fred should look out for too. Last year, the American Noah Lyles annihilated everyone in the 200-meter category and finished off with a blistering 19.31 seconds time, which puts him in third place on the all-time list just behind Usain Bolt and Johan Blake. Plus, the Melbourne meet's also gonna see Matthew Centrowitz take on Oliver Hoare too. So there's all sorts of things you can expect to happen in the arena down under. But still, there's nothing that can dampen Fred's spirits, because he's been wanting this for a long time, remember? Back in 2022, he might have led an American sweep of medals despite his 200-meter loss. Still, Fred thinks he can do much better. In an interview with The Independent, Kerley even mentioned that the records Bolt, Wade, and the greats have set are all realistic, and that they're the ones who set the bar up high enough for guys like him to compete. It makes sense too, if you think about it. If they were able to do it, then why not these new kids on the block? Besides, knowing how determined Kerley is, I don't doubt the fact that he plans on changing the game forever. So far, he's made it clear that small things like training, eating, and sleeping right will get him closer to the bigger goals down the line. But fans thought he was being just a tad too overconfident with his claim. Sure, he didn't really succeed at breaking Bolt's record at the World Athletics Championship in 2022, but that doesn't mean he's never gonna get close. Fans of the Lightning Bolt that Fred's claims were all talk and no play. In fact, they were most amused at the fact that the media prophesized the American star to break Bolt's record weeks before the race, and that these extra claims were void of any sincerity. Even when FlowTrack posted a bold statement saying Usain Bolt's world record has just 24 hours left, fans were quick to point out that in no way was Bolt's record under any pressure by all of this, and that this was just basically discrediting the legacy Usain has left behind on the track. Many people even called out the comparison between the two athletes premature, but I guess you can't completely shun the possibility of that 9.58 seconds record to ever be broken, can you? While it's still gonna take some hard work to match Usain's claim for Fred, here's to hoping he actually gets his double gold this year and polishes his skills further to emerge as one of the best sprinters of our generation. There you have it. That's a wrap on Fred Kerley's and his aim to match Usain Bolt.